going to reveal to you the legendary chord progression of the guitar gods. If you use this chord progression, you will no doubt sound awesome and feel good while you play the guitar. It's just something about the emotion that is instilled in the listener and the player when this chord progression is happening. I'm going to outline specific examples where this chord progression exists just to prove the fact that this is the most legendary chord progression ever. And I'll invite you to try it out yourself, if nothing else, to jam over. Maybe it'll make its way into one of your own songs that you end up writing. But overall, this is a demonstration of why the guitar is awesome. I will be using a little bit of music theory to convey some of the concepts in this lesson, so if you're not really familiar with that subject matter, then maybe you should check out Guitar Super System, my learning platform for guitar players. It's linked right down below. Now, onto the chord progression. That's right. 1, flat 7, flat 6. And back again. In some sort of iteration, that is the most godly chord progression, in my opinion, and in the opinion of some of the bands I'm about to outline. But what is it about this progression that's so cool? So taking a look at that, we have an E minor 7, D7, fifth chord of G major, then the fourth chord of G major, which is C major 7. For whatever reason, this chord progression just sounds ancient and awesome. The first example of the 1 to flat 7 to flat 6 is conveyed in All Along the Watchtower, the Jimi Hendrix classic. Yes, I know Bob Dylan wrote it, but he said himself, that's Hendrix's song now. That ain't mine. And I tend to agree. It's in the key of C minor. And of course, with that territory, you can take those chords and add some Hendrix triad flourishes. Moving forward, we have the climax of perhaps the greatest song of all time, Stairway to Heaven. And the interesting thing about this song is the harmony. So it actually does this cool line cliche, this chromatic. And you would never know it because the harmony is so fluid sounding, you would never realize that that is, a pretty dissonant sound on its own. And of course, there's other chord progressions and changes throughout that song, but it ends, like I said, with a climactic. And we know where it goes from there. By the way, this isn't the exact Stairway to Heaven solo. This is just my take on the solo, kind of throwing in my own stuff along with some of my favorite licks from the solo in my own way. I think more people should try to play guitar solos like this when they're learning them. Just makes it more fun that way, I think, and makes it your own a little bit. And so don't blow me up in the comments for not playing the Stairway to Heaven solo correctly. greatest band in the world, Tenacious D, wrote a tribute, that's right, a tribute to the greatest song in the world by quoting this chord progression in the end of their song at the climax, but the difference is their song actually goes 1 to flat 7 to 6 to flat 6. So it does this. If you don't know the history of that song, apparently Tenacious D, Jack Black, and Kyle Gass were confronted by the devil and challenged to play the greatest song in the world, or else their souls would be eaten. And well, that's what they came up with, and I think they accomplished their goal by paying tribute to Stairway to Heaven. Moving on to another example of the 1 flat 7 flat 6 epic chord progression, Aerosmith, Dream On. Sneaky one because it's interwoven between other sort of iterations of this chord progression or this harmony, you know, the natural minor sound, but it is extremely distinct during that vocal line that I just played on the guitar, and as a result it made for one of the greatest vocal performances in any song ever. Finally, as if you needed any more proof that the 1 flat 7 flat 6 chord progression is the guitar god chord progression, we have The Trooper by Iron Maiden. And to take it a little outside the box for this one, I am actually going to play this on a clean sound, just so you know that you don't just have to have rockin' guitars for this chord progression to be epic and sound awesome. So I'm going to dial down the aggression and reimagine this Trooper song into a more clean and delicate version, but you'll still hear the rhythm and the exact notes that are played in that song and understand just how powerful this harmony can be. Well, there you have it, my friends, the chord progression of the guitar gods. I hope it gave you some inspiration to take away. Even if you want to just throw on a looper and jam over this, it is so fun. I think one of the reasons guitar players love it so much is because it sort of adds a new spice to that pentatonic sound that we may be very comfortable with, but as I also demonstrated, you can outline these chords and get very interesting with your melodies as you play over them, so there's a lot of different directions to take it. Again, I hope this was a helpful lesson. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep shredding.